What does Mattel, Disney, and a book written back in the 19th century have in common? If you're new here, hi, my name is Denise, and welcome to our channel Color Me Well, where mental health and diversity conversations collide. Today, my co-host Jacqueline and I will be unpacking the roots of our beauty expectations on the first of our three-part series on body image. So if you're curious to find out what those three things have in common, then sit back, relax, and enjoy our chat here at Color Me Well.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Color Me Well. My name is Jackie.
And I'm Denise.
And today is a topic that I think Denise and I have definitely been on common ground with and have dealt with for a pretty good portion of our lives. And I'm sure all of you can relate to it as well. But it's all around body image and body shaming, which is a very loaded topic, of course, but it's something that I feel strongly resonates with me. I don't know about you, Denise, but yeah, like I felt those changes. How about yourself?
Oh yeah, definitely. With every year that goes by, your body just changes. So it's always the cycle of just trying to accept yourself. And obviously, that perception is different when you're a child versus when you're a teenager versus when you're an adult. So totally.
It does bring us to our first point of this conversation, but what was the definition of a sexy body for you, or like a body that was your ideal type?
Growing up, I don't have any specific recollections of an ideal body type. I mean, I was the type of kid that I loved teddy bears and anything fluffy and soft. So most of my toys, during that age were fluffy and cuddly. I do remember though that I had maybe 4 or 5 Barbie dolls. And obviously back then there was no Filipino Barbie. I don't know if there is one now. And so my understanding of, what that image is was, very specific, and I think that's common too in terms of, other girls growing up. Barbie always looked a certain way. And so it wasn't just a me or a Filipino issue. But the other side of it though is culturally, there's this image of, they call it dalagang Pilipina. So the image is, it's kind of a young Filipina lady, and the personality is always demure, petite, tends to be, obviously has straight black hair, but, relatively fair, but like Asian fair. I don't know how to describe that. And, very mild-mannered type of perception of the ideal woman. And that's what I've always, remembered, because at least my body type was never like that growing up. Dalagang Pilipina, or in English, the Filipina Maiden, is a term commonly used to describe the ideal Filipino woman. This imagery can be traced back to the Spanish occupation, in particular to the character of Maria Clara, who is the female lead in Jose Rizal's Noli Me Tangere. Maria Clara was depicted as a beautiful, demure, prim and proper mestiza. So while the Dalagang Pilipina ideal is mostly related to personality descriptors, anecdotally, Filipinos also tend to associate the physical aspects with the prevalent Eurasian features that are considered as beautiful during their time. You had mentioned that you had this image of like a sexy, sultry lady based on a cartoon character, and I might be remembering this wrong, but what's that name of that cartoon character? I think she's like the redhead. You have like a statue of her.
So yeah, the character you're speaking about is Jessica Rabbit from the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I do have a statue. I'm not ashamed of that at all. I really, and it's not really so much her body type, which I know is surprising. I just think that I think I just always really admired the way that she was animated, and also just her personality. She's a very strong-willed character and just very confident when she walks into a room. Like I do admire characters like that, which I think a lot of the cartoons growing up, I did have that sort of attractive nature too. For me, it was all Disney princesses, which is surprising. But when you think about primarily white, right? So in the end, there's this very interesting and unrealistic animated way that they appeared. It was the days, it was like, again, like the dimensions of the body were not realistic. I really didn't see myself in these women, but at the same time, I still identified with them, which was very strange. And there wasn't really anything close to being identified until Pocahontas came and Jasmine came along. But even then, the representation is still horrible. Right. So, and like it just felt like I was holding on to pieces of things that didn't really amplify any sort of realistic body type or image of beauty that I could feel like I was relating to. So, and then when I started to, grow up and become a teenager, and a lot of the celebrities that I idolized were white women, I barely looked at women who were the color of my skin. I feel like it was just something that I always wanted to be. So it's really weird because at one point I was really idolizing the Asian body and the Asian, hair. And I think it's just because of my upbringing. I had mostly Asian friends. I had really thick hair. I had body hair, which was something that I think it's part of body shaming, people don't really feel or comfortable seeing arm hair, armpit hair, hair on your face. Like, it's so weird, like to think about it. But now when I was like growing up in elementary school, I was teased sometimes for wearing shorts and having hairy legs. And I didn't really understand what the issue was, but they were saying, I would be asked, like, why don't you shave? Like, why don't you remove your hair? And I didn't know what to say to them.
So Jacqueline went on social media to get a feel for the current Southeast Asian expectations when it came to body hair. And she was met with this. As you can see from this list, the most popular items all had to do with the removal of body or facial hair. And this served as a sobering reminder on how these unrealistic beauty expectations still exist today.
And it was only when I got to high school that I really did feel like I was still like trying to fight that, and I was still trying to make it really, really trying hard to make myself look different. And I want to say it was only recently that, like you, I only finally felt a little bit more comfortable in my skin.
Taking a step back and really assessing the beauty ideals that we received during our childhood helped me and Jacqueline put our body image issues into perspective. On our next video, we were able to explore how these ideals continue to impact us in the rest of our lives. If you'd like to join us in that discussion, please don't forget to hit subscribe, and we'll see you on our next video.